Hello neighbors and friends, Steve here with etrailer.com. Thanks for joining me folks while we look at our Norcold RV refrigerator and freezer combo with 9.7 cubic foot of space, runs on 12 volt power, and it has a nice elegant stainless steel finish, and you can get it in a right or left hand opening option. So folks, these do come from the factory actually boxed up left and right. However, you can still reverse that door, so don't worry if you end up ordering incorrectly. You can simply take the time needed to swap the hinges and the hardware and everything to left versus right or vice versa. Now that being said, try your best to get the right size, the right opening rather, the first time. I'll put the item numbers on the screen for you. And before I dive in deep to some of the other stuff, I want to throw another image up. The top right hand, that's going to be a picture of what the plug looks like. It should marry up to what you currently have in your RV or camper. Now that being said, I highly recommend you making sure that matches up. If it does not, you technically, I guess, could cut that plug off. That is not recommended. Again, not recommended. However, there are two power and ground wires there. The top left photo is the back bottom of it. Again, due to limited space, I'll throw these images up so you can see them better now. You got a drip pan there, and it's going to catch condensation and all that kind of stuff. You got the compressor. Bottom left-hand corner, that's an image of the light. I tried to wire it up here for you. Again, the lighting and everything and the angles, I just couldn't really see the brightness too well. Again, it's 12 volts using LED. It is bright in the dark. That's pretty much when you would need to have that light on anyways. And then the bottom right photo there, image, is just a close-up of the panel on the top of the fridge. You got power, and then you got plus or minus to move the temperature up or down. The next ones over are your freezer. Hit the freezer button to adjust the freezer temp, and then hit the fridge button to adjust the fridge temp. And then you get the moon shape there on the top right of that bottom image, and that's for nighttime use. So again, a lot of information I just went over. I apologize if I went too quick, but basically a nice fridge. Again, I'm going to spin this around real quick so you can kind of see all sides. Obviously, it's going to fit inside of a cutout. That cutout dimension is going to be 24 inches deep. The width of the cutout is 23.5 inches wide and 59 7/8 inches tall overall. Now that being said, again, that's the cutout dimensions. That's the back view there. Again, I showed you an image a few minutes ago of the close-up of that drip pan. As far as overall dimensions, if you were looking at the front, that same dimension, that 59 7/8 inches tall, because that cutout needs to have this included. That way this is, pushed back in place and you still have access to that panel. Now the difference is going to be that the width here is going to be the same or bigger, 26 7/8 inches, and that overall width on the front facing is 23.25 inches wide. So about a 1/4 inch difference than the cutout itself. So again, those are the measurements you're going to need. The door thickness is going to be 2 7/8 inches thick. Let's go ahead and open up the freezer door here. And as you can see, we got our meal up in there, staying nice and chill. If you look here, you've got a built-in door holder. You can put some stuff in there as well. So that's a freezer, lots of space in there. And the fridge, same thing. We can put some drinks and stuff in there. We can have a nice little space. You got drawers and stuff on the bottom. I'm going to zoom in so I can kind of show you a couple other things real quick. So again, you got space on the doors here and everything, obviously. You got your holders for the doors. But I want to point out on the inside here, and I'm going to use my tape measure as a pointing apparatus, if you will. So you got your sandwich up there, but down here you can kind of see it slopes, right? So it slopes down to the center right about in there. That is perfectly normal. When I first opened this, I thought it was kind of a defect or something, but then looking at it more, those slopes on the left and right hand side, there's a hole down there, and that's a drain hole. So that's going to catch any condensation and any of that kind of stuff, maybe your defrost and everything. That's going to catch all that into that back pan in the back of the fridge freezer combo here. So again, you got two nice drawers, you got shelving. The shelving is adjustable. You do, however, have to take off a cap, and then they are screwed in place. So it's a little bit of effort required to move the shelving, but that's what you want. So they are screwed in place. That's so they can't be shifting around when you're driving down the road and going from place to place. So it's a perfectly normal thing with these kind of fridges and freezers. Now the digital panel, I showed you a close-up earlier on that image. Again, you can adjust all those things. 5 levels of adjustment as far as 1 through 5 on the coldness on the fridge and freezer. You have a nighttime option. That was that moon button I was telling you about earlier and showing you. The nighttime option is going to reduce energy. It's going to reduce noise use while you're sleeping and go into like almost like a sleep mode, if you will. It has a low voltage protection built-in system, so it's going to stop the fridge from completely draining the RV's battery since it's pulling too much voltage. And it's going to automatically turn off when your battery reaches 10.4 volts of power. Now it is a manual defrost. That's going to conserve your battery life, so you're going to want to manually defrost it, open it up after you shut everything off, let it manually defrost, scrape off any kind of freezer frost, those kind of things if it's built up. Now the doors do lock like they are now to prevent opening and swinging while in transport. And again, these are totally reversible. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can basically take these covers off, swap the doors left to right or vice versa as needed. And there's a pin up top right now. It's on this side because it's pivoting this way. And just like your regular fridge and freezers in your home, you can swap those over left to right. It's not a big deal. Just keep that in mind whenever you're ordering. Now again, it's a simple installation. You got that plug-in on top. That should marry up with the plug in your RV or camper. And then you slide it in place. And it's pretty simple, not much to it. Now in night mode, it's going to draw 6.2 amps. It's going to draw 8.3 amps in its standard daytime mode. And the rated current for this is 15 amps max. The whole thing is about 133 pounds, so make sure you get someone to help you when you're installing it and putting it in place, and also when you're removing the old one. Well, folks, I think that's going to wrap it up. Just a quick look today. I do want to throw up the left and right part numbers one last time for you. Again, make sure you're ordering the correct one the first time so you don't have to worry about swapping the doors. But again, if for some reason you order incorrectly, it's fine. You can swap those doors as needed. Folks, I'm Steven. Thanks so much for your time. Have safe out there.